Berechiah, the son of Iddo the prophet, saying,
Hold on. Man, I did not have my mic on the streaming channel. So I'm sorry, y'all, on the streaming channel. The mic was not on. My bad. We are now at Zechariah 1:7. Goodness. My bad, y'all. I know. I know, man. I messed up. Okay, so verse 7, upon the 24th day of the 11th month. So the first vision was in the 8th month. Now it's the 11th month of the same year, right? Which is the month of Sabat in the 2nd year of Darius. Came the word of the Lord unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, what do you say? Did you read 8? Okay.
I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were their red horses, speckled and white.
Okay. Right, water. right. Sabat. not to be confused with Shabbat. Okay, so he saw in this vision, right? And by night, and check me out, James, if you disagree. When I reference something here. I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were their red horses, speckled and white. So it's this man on a red horse, okay, and he's standing among these myrtle trees, these beautiful trees, and behind him were more red horses, and they're speckled with white. Okay, got it. What else happened?
Then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be.
Okay, so the angel's finna show him what these are, okay?
And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom the Lord hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth.
Okay. So the rider on the red horse and the red and the speckled with white horses, right? These are they whom the Lord hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth. Okay? That's what the Lord has done for these. That's their job, to walk to and fro through the earth, okay? You got context. Continue. 11. I'm sorry, 10. 11. Yep.
And they answered the angels of the Lord that stood among the myrtle trees and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest.
Okay, so they doing their job. They're walking to and fro, right? They answered the angel of the Lord that stood among the myrtle trees and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest. Let me skip up. I think I missed something here. And behold, man, right. Okay. So these red horses speckled with white are telling the man that's riding on this red horse, hey, we've been going to and fro. Right? Is that the context here?
Yes.
Okay, and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest. So he's saying, hey, they saying all the earth is at peace. Okay? All the earth is at peace. Let's make sure it is. Hold on. That sitteth still, age 34, 27. Yashab, age 34, 27. This is that word sitteth still in the Hebrew. A primitive root, properly to sit down, specifically as judge in ambush and quiet, by implication to dwell, to remain, causatively to settle, to marry, to make abide, continue, right? So they're chilling, they're sitting down, nothing bad going on. They're hanging out. Okay. So he's saying they sit still and is at rest, verse 12. Well, before I go there, let me reference something else real quick. Because they saying they sit still and they at rest. Now I want to reference something here. This is not concrete though, what I'm about to reference. But it's something to look at. You know what I mean? It may come up later. In Revelation, this is what I was talking about, James. Revelation 6:1. We'll read verse 1 for context, but we'll skip to verse 4. Revelation 6:1. Talking about this keep it in mind with the red horse, right? Ride on the red horse. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." Okay, we're going to skip down to verse 4. Because these are the horses that come out, right? And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, the people on earth. And there was given unto him a great sword. So I'm taking y'all here because once we get more context here in Zechariah, I just want to just notice here, right? These men on the red horse, right? And the red and white speckled with white horses are running to and fro on the earth and saying, hey, the earth is sitting still. It's at rest. Then we see here in Revelation 6:4, right? This red horse, right? Power is given to it to take peace from the earth. So while they make a mention that the earth is at rest or at peace in Zechariah, in the Revelation, right? You got another red horse that's given power to take peace from the earth. Just something to think about, and we're going to come back to this when we finish Zechariah. Right? And they were given unto him a great sword. Okay? That rider on the red horse. Just keep that in mind as we read through Zechariah, this first chapter. Okay, verse 12.
Then the angel of the Lord answered and said, O Lord of hosts, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which thou hast had indignation these 10 years?
Okay, so they just told this angel, right? Or they just told the rider that, hey, the earth sits still, everybody's at rest, right? At peace. So the angel of the Lord answered and said, O Lord of hosts, right? Lord of armies, how long wilt thou have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which thou hast had indignation these 70 years? Remember, he's in the land at this time. They're setting it back up, but they're coming out of that captivity. Remember the oh my goodness, Jeremiah, his prophecy, right? And one of them was that 70 years to the decree come out that they will be able to return from Babylon to go back to Jerusalem. This is that time. So this angel is saying, how long, right? Without not have mercy on Jerusalem, right? It's been 70 years, right? 3 score, right? A score is 20. So 3 score is 60 plus the 10 is 70 years. And let's verify this. Let's verify this. Because remember, this is in the second year of Darius. Let's go to Daniel. Back to chapter 9. We're just going to verify my statement there. Daniel chapter 9, verse 1 and 2. Remember, Daniel was in this captivity. He went into the first captives to Babylon. He, along with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But just confirm, this is the 70 year, right? So this is Daniel 1. Daniel 9 and 1. In the first year of Darius, it's that same Darius. Well, it might not be the same Darius. Let me make sure. The first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes. Right. which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans. Okay, remember, when Darius came in, what was Nebuchadnezzar's son's name? Belshazzar? I think it was Belshazzar. But you remember he saw the writing on the wall, and that night, like the kingdom was taken over. So in the first year, verse 2, of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of years, whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. So this is confirming that, right? This is that 70-year period. When that time was coming where the decree would come back, where they can go back to Jerusalem. All right, and so this is what Zechariah is talking about. Okay. Let's get back to Zechariah. Mm-hmm.
And the Lord answered the angel that talked with me with good words and comfortable words. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy.
Okay, so God said, I'm jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy, okay?
And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
Okay, so they made it worse, right? God was a little displeased with the heathen, right? With the Gentiles. But now they made it worse. To where now he's very sore, right? He was only a little, but now he's sore displeased, okay? 16.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, saith the Lord of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem.
Okay, so this is because he's going to have mercy on them. Remember, they were spread out, right? They were still destroyed. The temple ain't been built yet. So now God is saying, I'm going to have mercies right after the 70 years, right, which he promised in Jeremiah. And right, and the line shall be stretched forth upon it, right? That's the measuring ruler, right? They do the measurements. Okay?
Cry yet, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, My cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem.
All praises. So God is going to bring Jerusalem back, right? Okay. It's 18.
Then lifted up mine eyes. Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns.
Okay, so then he's seeing something else in this vision. He sees 4 horns, okay? Horns always represent power. Let's go.
And I said unto the angel that talked with me, What be these? And he answered me, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
Right. So again, we just let the Bible define itself when it's giving it to us. So these 4 horns are goodness. Right, these 4 horns are who scattered Jerusalem, right? Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem, right? So these are kind of like kingdoms. It's not saying that, but right, kingdoms did scatter them. Okay.
And the Lord showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, What come these to do? And he spake, saying, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah, to scatter it.
Okay, so he sees these horns, right? And these horns are what have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Now he sees carpenters, right? And so he says, What come these to do? Right? What are these carpenters coming to do? And he spake, saying, right, the angel of the Lord, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. Okay? But these are come to fray them, these carpenters, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah, to scatter it. So, in the context, it's saying that these carpenters have come to scatter. They're going to fray them, but they're going to scatter. I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong word. They're going to fray them of Judah. But it makes sense because they're going to build the temple there. And there was Gentiles living there at that time. And what is this word fray? What is this word in the Hebrew? Which we understand it by context, but we're going to look it up anyway. H2729, karad. A primitive root, to shudder with terror, hence to fear, also to hasten with anxiety, be make afraid, be careful, discomfort, fray away, quake, tremble. Right? So he's going to scare them away. And if we look that word fray up in the Webster's, and how are they going to do it? Right? Definition 2, this word fray, a combat, a battle, also a single combat or duel. And it makes sense. And I go to verse 21 to take us back. Who's going to fray them? Maybe that rider on the red horse, as we see in Revelation, is given power to take away peace from the earth.
So is the rider on the red horse the same as the carpenters?
No, he says they take away peace.
No, that's what it said in Revelation, but
yeah,
right there it just said that the carpenters were come to fray.
Yeah, we're come to fray. These are other, just understanding how God works, he's sending other nations to destroy other nations. So he's probably other nations to scatter them away. It don't give me enough context, but I know that the rider and the red horse, right? And the red horses with the speckled with white, they're going to and fro on earth and saying the earth is at rest. And then we read in Revelation that this rider on the red horse was given power to take away peace on earth. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think that's a reach?
What was the verse in Revelations?
What you think, James?
What was your reference in Revelation?
Hey, when you posted you was getting into Zechariah piece, Brother Tommy. When you posted you was getting into Zechariah, I had to tune in because I'm not clear on some of this stuff as well. So you're right. I think to link it up with Revelation,
right?
Because but I think it's two different things that are happening. Revelation is it's what's going on with the horses in Revelation is it's kicking off like he's stirring up the nations and some stuff is going on. I won't get into that, but I think the horses plainly, I think the horses kind of represent the angels controlling the nations. I don't know. Do you see it as well? Like it's God controlling the nations. That's how the horses represent. And so they're carrying out his will. And it seems to be, I don't know if you link up the bronze. Let me think what I'm trying to get at. Because in Daniel, you have the image, right? Bronze represents Greek. And sometimes it's copper or bronze. It goes from gold, silver, and then bronze. And it says they came out of bronze mountains, right? They came in between two bronze mountains. Is that what it said? Did you the beginning of Zechariah? Huh?
Two bronze mounts.
Right. How do you link that up with Greece? Because
with Greece?
Yeah. Because Greece comes in that period after they built the temple.
Exactly. Yep.
Because because in the transition stage you still have Persia in control, but Greece comes in and wipes them and takes them out. Alexander beats them.
Right.
And then those four generals split up. They split up that area: Egypt, Syria, and whatever. Yeah, so that's during that time period. So I don't know if that's referring to that.
Mhm.
I'll just throw that out there, but yeah.
Well, I think
I,
right here though, right here in chapter 1, because it said it's in the second year of Darius, and he's the Mede that took over after was it Belshazzar, right? After Babylon's.
right. I think he was the original. There's a bunch of
Yeah,
Dariuses.
it's a
So
bunch
I
of
think
Dariuses, but I think yeah,
right.
right. I think he's original because of
He's the first one, yeah. And then they
exactly.
started taking on that name because just like Caesar, it was his name. Julius Caesar was his name, and then all the other successors after him started taking on that title as a king, like Caesar became that. I think Darius became that for the Persian kings as well. That name,
Right, right. Yeah,
yeah.
but I was saying though, like, because I think he is the first. So this is earlier. This is like in the 500s. Because then the Greeks take over in like
Hmm.
300 BC in that area.
Yes, yes. But the conflict was kicking off. So I don't know. I'd have to sit back and look at that. I just wanted to throw that out because I know I don't know if you've ever considered that because that bronze. I mean, to label, why would they put bronze on it? Bronze all throughout prophecy is either it's either referring to like they'll mention the gods of bronze and stone, but then in prophecy bronze. I think it's Enoch chapter 52 where it talks about the mountain of bronze, the mountain of
Right.
lead. Yeah, and those are talking about kingdoms, I think, or the riches of the kingdoms that are conquered by Christ when he returns. Um, so yeah, I don't know if we can place. So you're saying you're trying to place it in about 500 BC, or I'm sorry, not 500 BC, but when they beat Babylon. Is that when Darius came in?
Right,
Right.
right, right. Because like this was like I want to say 538 or something BC because Nebuchadnezzar took over, or they actually destroyed fully Jerusalem in 586.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but you remember not Zechariah, Jeremiah had already prophesied the 70 weeks to the decree to
Mm-hmm.
come back. And so that's why I went to Daniel 9 to show that this was the time of that 70 weeks was up. And then Zechariah mentions it as well. So I'm saying this is in the
Right.
beginning stages of that. So they're still in the Medo-Persian area or the
Yeah,
Persian period.
it could be. I could be wrong with the significance of the bronze coming out between those mountains. I don't know. Like I said, I'm in the process of looking at this stuff as well. I don't have it all figured out. But
Right.
you're on point with the angels and the horses. Like that's God controlling other nations. That's what it looks like to me. Because that's what's
Exactly.
going on in Revelation, and that's what's going on in Zechariah. It's just trying to pinpoint because it says that the world is all is resting quietly. So it seems like things have settled down. Do you get that from that as well?
Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing. I went there to show that how Jerusalem was still in turmoil, but all the nations, all the heathen around about them are at peace. And so the only reason I went to
Oh,
Revelation
okay.
just to show that these horses are the ones who make war, right? Who takes away peace. And then you
Right.
see in verse 21 of Zechariah, he says that these carpenters are coming to take away, to fray those horns, right, which are the
Hmm.
Gentiles
Right.
out of Judah, right? Because these are the ones that scattered Judah.
Hmm.
So that's no more peace right there. Because they sitting
Hmm.
still, right? They're sitting still in what verse was that? 12, was it? What verse was that where it says they resting? Yeah, verse 11, it says, behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest. Right? But these are the horses speckled with white are saying this. So I was just going there to show that these horses, this red horse is the one that's taking away the peace. And then I was just showing that in verse 21.
Oh,
But
okay.
but but it is two different scenarios, like Revelation 6 and this. It's two different things, but I was just showing the red horse is the one that takes away peace.
Right. Well, we on the same page. I just was making sure you weren't lumping in like the Revelation exactly like what's going on in Revelation because
Oh no,
there's different
no.
there's different components of like is it a stirring up, is it a coming out of something, or is it going in, like because Revelation is stirring up, it's starting. That's what you see in like Revelation. And this, do you see that here as well, that this is a start? Is that kind of like something? Because I that resting quietly, I thought their job was kind of done. Like they had stirred up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to go back and look at it a little closely though. So I
Well,
don't want to keep you up.
let me see, because it said they're resting quietly. Let me get back to verse 11.
Yeah, I'd have to look into the nitty gritty on those verses where it talks about they're resting quietly in the dialogue back and forth between the angels.
Right, because it's just
Yeah.
saying, it's because they were given power to go to and fro. Hold on, let me see. Where does it say that? Speckable right, yep. Okay, verse 9. Then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. And the man that stood among the myrtle trees, which is the man on the red horse, answered and said, These are they whom the Lord hath sent to walk to and fro on the earth, through the earth. Right, and that's what I showed in Revelation 6 and 4. And then verse 11, and they answered the angel of the Lord that stood among the myrtle trees, and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest. So they're just making a report that the earth is at rest. And so it gets down to it, and God say, because he's jealous for his people, right? And he wants to have mercy on them. Because the angel asks, How long will you not have mercy on Jerusalem? And
Right.
so,
Hey, so Tommy, when you look at this up to verse 11, I'm seeing that as God has commanded has controlled these nations to punish Israel, right? That's what we see, and he's. Do you see that as well? Is that
are you saying,
that
okay,
these?
up to verse 11?
Yeah, because the reason why Zachariah's got this vision is for God to reassure him that he's gonna build they're gonna build the temple again, right?
Right. Well, as far as the context in verse 1, it's just, I just see like, the 70 years being up, they're already in the land at this time.
Right.
And then, where was it? Hold on. And then verse 11, these carpenters coming to take away those horns, these, right, which are the Gentiles who have scattered
Mm-hmm.
Judah, so
Oh,
that
you're
they
saying the
can finish the
carpenters.
work.
You're saying that. Hold on. You're saying the carpenters are the Gentiles or the horns?
I'm saying the horns are the Gentiles, but
Yeah.
the carpenters are being sent to fray, right, or to make them fear, as that word means.
Mm-hmm.
Make the horns fear, right, which are the Gentiles in verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And that's is the beginning of them making them terrified, right? Because God
Mm-hmm.
is no longer having because he's made them sore displeased, right? Or they made God sore displeased. They helped forward the affliction, right, of Jerusalem. So yes, I'll say this is the beginning of it. But
Okay.
my purpose in Revelation, because it doesn't mention them rebuilding the temple yet in the context, but we know by reading, and after this 70-year period, we know where they were allowed to go back and rebuild
Right.
the temple. But they were stopped. Remember, they stopped them. The Gentiles that were in Jerusalem at the time, they fought against them and they stopped them from building the temple.
Right. And they went to the Persian king to complain, and the wall wasn't up yet, right? Because
Right, the wall wasn't up, and they hadn't even
right.
finished because actually Haggai is in this time period as well. The prophet
Yeah.
Haggai.
Hey, continue on, man. I think you're on the right path. It's just getting into looking at this stuff, man. I'd have to sit down and really dig in because I've gone through Zechariah a few times, man. This is a tough pill to crack open.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
this is a juicy one, man. There's some parts, man, where it's kind of vague, and you commented on the context. Kind of hard to get the context out because it is kind of vague. It just jumps, man. And yeah.
Right, yeah, it does. But I mean, we're done. We're only going to get one chapter. We try to finish at 9:00. I just want to hear your thoughts, man. See what you think about it.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites, man. Zechariah, because it's I think it's one of the hardest ones because I've gone through it and I can't pin it down. And this came to me recently, that thing with the bronze mountain. I was going through Enoch and I was like, they got
Mhm.
the Enoch's got the mountain of bronze. I think it's 52.
I remember
Either
reading about
51
it.
or
I don't know
52.
exactly where it is.
Yeah, and it's that's talking about I think that's the beginning of the millennium reign. because it kind of alludes to Jesus's kingdom, and I think it's talking about all those other kingdoms and the booty from all the other kingdoms that he's utilizing that. He's utilizing all their riches, I guess, for
right.
Israel or for the kingdom, right?
Right. I
Yeah,
think so. I haven't read it in a while, but I do remember it.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good one to look at when you get a chance. Go look at Enoch. I think it's around 51 or 52, somewhere around in there.
Well, what chapter were you talking about the bronze? Where are you getting the bronze from? Well, what chapter in Zechariah?
So that's no, that's Daniel. Daniel, I think it's 4, where it's talking about the image. It uses copper, I think, but it's the same word. It can be copper or bronze.
Okay, I got you. Okay, you're talking about the beast.
Yeah, Daniel. Well, the image first off, and it's in the beast because he gives it to you in the image, right? In Daniel 2.
Right. Oh, the image
Yeah,
of the
yeah. That
Nebuchadnezzar statue.
It gives you the head of gold, the chest of silver, and the thighs of bronze, and it tells you that third kingdom of bronze is Greece.
Oh, you're talking about yeah, you're talking about the vision. I got you.
Right, and
Yeah.
the word bronze there it's sometimes it's translated copper. It's the same. Like they use bronze sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they use brass, I think. Yeah, so they kind of interchange those words.
Right. I get what you're saying
Yeah, that's
now.
how,
So you were saying that's a kingdom. I get what you're saying now. Okay.
right. So the horses coming out from there is they came from that because the kingdom is referred to as mountains sometimes. Mountains are symbolic for kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
If I can give an example for that, I know it's in the Bible somewhere. I can't think of it right offhand. But yeah, they're coming. How would you interpret that? They're coming from that area. Like, I mean, the bronze has got to have some significance to mention that, right? I mean, it wouldn't just talk about some bronze mountains. I mean, it's got to have some significance.
Are you talking about in Enoch?
Zechariah,
Is that
Zechariah 1, as you just read, with the
hold on? I read about some bronze mountains in Zechariah.
was it cop? What did they come out from the between two mountains?
I don't think not in verse 1. I mean chapter 1.
Oh man, hold
Hold
on.
on. Hold on. Let me see. Zechariah. No, because it just talks about the horsemen, and
Oh, it didn't mention. Hold on now.
it didn't mention it. No, not in chapter 1.
But is it in Zechariah? Am I jumping ahead?
It might be in a later chapter.
Hold on, let me find it, man. What verse does it start talking about the horses and the colors?
The horses
What verse?
is verse. Let's see, 8.
Oh, okay, I didn't go far enough down.
It just talked
Oh yeah.
about the red horseman being in the midst of the myrtle trees at the bottom.
Okay, hold on. I might be. I hope I ain't mixing up Enoch, man. Hold on.
Let me see. Matter of fact, hold on, James. Let me end this stream. It's already 9 o'clock. Let me end this stream real quick.
Oh yeah, it's chapter 6, man. My bad.
Chapter 6. Okay.
When you started talking about it's just when you were getting into the horses and the angels and stuff like that. It's Zechariah 6. It talks. I'll just read the verse real quick. Hold on. Zechariah 6:1.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, the Mount
Yeah.
Zechariah.
So my bad. I wasn't even. Yeah. You're probably thinking I'm crazy. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm trying to follow it, but yeah, I got what you were saying
Yeah.
because this was because because they say some of the prophecies in Zechariah came later because it was mentioned the Greek period, and that Greek period, which you were talking about being that bronze, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or brass. So
Yeah, here.
that's what I was linking it to. So I was thinking you were getting it at that point.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. My bad, Tommy. It's Zechariah 6:1, and it's just giving you it's just giving you a little bit more about a little bit of context about these horses and angels. It says, I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came forth 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass. There it is. So that's the word that's translated as. Sometimes it's translated brass, bronze, or copper, I think.
I got you.
Um, yeah, so that's what I was getting at.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. In the
Yeah.
first chariot were red horses, second chariot black horses, and the third chariot white horses, and the fourth chariot grizzled and bay horses. And they play with this. I think Zechariah. They play with a lot of the Hebrew is different. It's the same as Revelation too, but it's just worded differently because of the Greek.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you like speckled, and this one, what does it say? It says grizzled, grizzled, and bay horses is
Grizzled and
verse.
Bay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Zechariah 6:3. But yeah, go when you get a chance, just link that. Go look at Zechariah 6. That's what I was drawing from, and I was trying to look at Enoch because it's mentioned about these mountains of metal that become like liquid or chaff, or they become. I think it says it becomes like liquid before the Lord in Enoch. Um, but yeah, that's it, man.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, because I see what you're saying. Because I thought you were referencing because some of his stuff does reference the Greek order, and then like we read because we saw the because I don't know if you're in here yet, but I read out of this book called The Complete Guide to the Bible by Stephen M. Miller, and in the section where it
Yeah, I was.
says writer, and it says Zechariah speaks of a threat coming from the Greeks. That's Zechariah 9:13. Though Persia was the superpower of the day, Greece didn't defeat the Persians until 332 BC, 200 years after Zechariah, because that's where they think this stuff was added at that point. So I thought you was getting at that point, but that's why I was talking about
Oh,
that
yeah, I
this is
heard you
still in
read.
this was still in the Babylonian captivity. I mean yeah, this is them coming out of the Babylonian captivity, and the Persians are in power now, not the Greeks.
Right.
But I
Yeah,
got you
my bad.
now.
I may have confused. I probably confused a lot of people. But yeah, that's what I was drawing from. It was Zechariah 6, and I was coming. I was just coming into the house, getting home with my son. So yeah, I was trying to listen, but I may have missed. I may have missed that.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
all good, man. I appreciate you for coming through, James.
man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. How you doing?